Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a technology that is completely changing the game for industrial cleaning. We're talking about using nothing but a super focused beam of light. So forget all those harsh chemicals and messy abrasives. This is all about precision, raw power, and frankly, a much cleaner way of doing things.
Okay, so let's just jump right in. I want you to picture this. You point a tool at, say, a rusty chunk of metal or a surface that's caked in old paint. And with just a flash of light, all that junk just vanishes. It's gone. And the original material underneath? It's perfectly untouched. Now, does that sound like science fiction? Well, it's not. It's the reality of modern laser cleaning, and it's happening right now. But, to really get why this is such a huge leap forward, we've got to look back at the old way of doing things. For decades, getting things clean on an industrial scale has been a dirty, damaging, and honestly, a pretty dangerous business. Think about it like this. On one hand, you've got the traditional methods. We're talking chemical baths that leave you with barrels of toxic sludge, or sandblasting that just grinds away not only the rust, but the actual material itself, the substrate. These methods are, well, clumsy. They create all sorts of hazardous waste, and it can permanently damage the very thing they're supposed to be cleaning. And on the other hand, you've got a clean, precise, non-contact alternative. So, how in the world do you fix all those problems? Well, the answer is to harness the power of light, but with a level of control that is just mind-blowing. At the heart of all this is a technology called MOPA fiber laser cleaning, which is used in these really advanced systems like the ones from Chihalo. The basic idea is just fascinating. It fires these incredibly short, high-energy pulses of light at whatever you're cleaning. The process is called ablation, and it's so intense and so fast that it causes the contaminants, the rust, the paint, the oil, to instantly vaporize into a superfine dust while the material underneath stays cool and completely unaffected.
But here's the thing, not all lasers are created equal. You might have heard of other types, like continuous wave or standard pulse lasers, but what makes the MOPA tech, especially inside systems like Chihalo's, so special? It all comes down to one single crucial idea: absolute control.
Now, this is where it gets really cool. MOPA is an acronym. It stands for Master Oscillator Power Amplifier. I know, it's a bit of a mouthful, but it perfectly explains how it works. Think of the master oscillator as the brain. It creates that first perfect little pulse of light. Then, the power amplifier acts like the muscle. It boosts that perfect pulse up to industrial strength, but without losing any of that delicate control. That right there, that's the secret sauce.
And this table just lays it all out perfectly. On the left, you've got continuous wave lasers. They're like a fire hose, tons of power, but they're messy. They cause a lot of heat damage, and they're not precise at all. Then you have standard pulse lasers, which are a bit better, kind of like using a hammer. But MOPA technology over on the right, that's a surgical scalpel, because you can tweak all its parameters. Heat damage is minimal, the precision is just unreal, and it's incredibly adaptable. You can tune it perfectly for any job, whether you're stripping thick paint or cleaning the most delicate layer of grime.
So this amazing level of control translates directly into three huge benefits that are driving companies all over the world to adopt this tech. It's this powerful combo of precision, profit, and, get this, major benefits for the planet.
First up, let's talk precision. It's the whole point. Because mobile lasers can be so finely tuned, they can literally remove a layer of paint that's thinner than a human hair without even scratching the metal underneath. They can clean priceless historical artifacts without harming the original surface. I mean, that level of control was just pure fantasy with the old methods.
Okay, so right about now you're probably thinking, this sounds expensive. And you're right, this kind of advanced technology is an investment. A 1 kilowatt MOPA system from Chihalo starts at over $25,000. But wait, that is only half the story.
Because the typical return on investment, the ROI, is usually hit in just 1 to 2 years. How is that possible? Well, it's simple. You completely eliminate the huge ongoing costs of buying consumables, of extra labor, and, crucially, of getting rid of hazardous waste that you're stuck with when using traditional cleaning methods. And a huge chunk of that savings comes from the environmental side of things. This process uses zero chemicals, none. It doesn't need any consumable media like sand or pellets. And so it produces absolutely no hazardous waste. The only thing you put in is electricity. That makes it an incredibly green technology that also happens to save companies a fortune on compliance and disposal costs. It's a total win-win.
And we're not talking about a tool you have to replace every few years. The core laser source is built like a tank. It has a typical surface life of over 100,000 hours. To put that in perspective, that's more than a decade of continuous, reliable work.
So, where is all this amazing tech making the biggest splash? Let's look at a few industries where this precise, clean power is already a total game changer.
In the auto world, this is a restorer's absolute dream come true. It can strip decades of rust and layers of old paint off a classic car's body panel or engine block, and it perfectly preserves the original stamped steel underneath. No warping, no damage, just clean metal. Now, in aerospace, precision isn't just a nice-to-have, it's a matter of life and death. MOPA lasers can remove very specific coatings or oxide layers from things like turbine blades while maintaining the exact microscopic tolerances needed to keep planes in the air. And this might be the most impressive part. In heritage restoration, this technology can perform what looks like actual miracles. It can gently lift centuries of grime from a delicate stone sculpture or remove corrosion from an ancient bronze artifact, preserving the history that those old harsh methods would have just destroyed.
So when you put all of these pieces together, the incredible control, the major cost savings, and these amazing real-world applications, the conclusion you come to is clear and it's really powerful. So here's the bottom line, the key takeaway. MOPA fiber laser cleaning gives you a combination of benefits that was just out of reach before. You get unmatched precision, a super fast return on your investment, sometimes in as little as a year, a process with zero consumables or waste, and the versatility to handle really high-value work across tons of different industries. Which really just leaves us with one final thought. With technology this clean, this precise, and this cost-effective now out there and available, it really makes you stop and ask, why would anyone choose to clean with anything else? Are those old, dirty, and damaging methods already obsolete?